So you bought 10
bought
homes,
10 homes for
5,000 apiece.
5,000 apiece, yeah.
In Pittsburgh, got on eBay, and a guy had a package, or you bought them from?
Had a package. Yeah, I bought them.
Boom, all 10 of them.
All 10 of them.
You then fly to Pittsburgh to
Fly
go
to Pittsburgh
look
to go
at
look
your
at
10
them.
homes.
I'm excited because they're all in great shape, and all they need is paint and carpet, right?
Yeah.
And the first home I go to is there's no home.
There
I'm
ain't
like,
even one there.
There's not even one there. I talked to the neighbor. They said, oh, that was torn down like 2 months ago. So I'm freaking out. I called the guy, and his number's disconnected that I bought him from, right? So I was like, oh, here we go. These people that are in the game don't understand high-level sales. I said, I know that no one's telling you this, but I swear to God, I promise you it's true. If you can have a 1 to 2 hour talk with somebody and really spend time with them and show them that you care and do a great discovery and create a heart connection and understand the why. Really understand the why.
Yeah. I
right?
agree with everything you're saying.
You can order take,
Yep.
but if you're gonna really get great deals and close at a high clip.
Order taking meaning like deals are being done every single day with those 10 to 15 minute conversations. But I can tell you, you're burning through your marketing dollars. It's gonna take you a lot longer to get a solid deal actually to the closing table. What's going on, y'all? This is Eric Cline with another episode of Refuse to Lose podcast. As I say on every single one, I got a badass on here today. A dear friend of mine, I'm getting to know him a little bit better on this podcast today with you, but it's DJ Thielen. And dude, this guy, he's got a story, bro. And I think I'm excited to hear like the story, like getting deep into the story. Because he used to be a Major League Baseball player. He used to be a professional baseball player. And then he gave up baseball, and he's gotten rich off buying cheap homes. And I'm excited to hear, because I've been interested in this cheap home thing. You hear about Section 8, and I know like you can buy certain properties and get an awesome return on it for rent in certain markets. So I'm excited to see where he's taking this real estate thing. But more importantly, just so y'all can get some value, there's 100 ways to skin the cat when it comes to the real estate game. And y'all know there's been more millionaires and billionaires created in this industry. And there is a tsunami of deals getting ready to go down. It's going to be a gold rush over the next 4 years. So I'm super excited to have this conversation with my man, DJ.
Let's go, baby.
What's up, bro? Tell them who you are.
Shoot, man. Where do you want me to start? I mean, I was just a quick snapshot.
Yeah.
You met my son. I'll get into that. But I was born in Portland, Oregon. Grew up there. Single mom, no dad in the mix. Had ADD. Hated school. Had some abuse. Was poor financially. No dad. Not a great combination in the 70s, 80s,
I know a guy just like that. Me.
I didn't know that, see? So, man. So, thank God I was athletic. And, at 19, I got a chance, had a great year. I played at a junior college, had a great season. The San Francisco Giants took me. I was their 6th pick in 1991. And that was the beginning of my fulfilling my dream. To back up, in the 3rd grade, Eric, I have this, I should have brought it with me. I have this piece of paper that Kristen, my fiance, that, is keeping safe, so I don't lose it. But it was in the 3rd grade, and our teacher had us write, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
And I literally found this when my brother and I helped retire our mom in 2010.
Wow. And
30 days later, she had a heart attack and died. And now I can mention it without getting choked up, but sometimes, like it's on stage, sometimes it hits me in that wave. But I was going through everything, and I found this piece of paper. Dude, I couldn't speak. They thought like I was like they were like, dude, what happened? Like, are you okay? They thought I was like having like a stroke or something, And I was so in awe. It was a half sheet of paper that in the 3rd grade in Miss Harris' class at Chief Joseph Elementary in Portland, Oregon, that I wrote down. She said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I wrote down on this piece of paper, when I grow up, I want to be a professional baseball player. I think I was 10 or 11 at the time, and I wrote down that I'm the best player in the minor leagues, no lack of confidence, right? And then I just said, I want to be a professional baseball player. My favorite players are Willie Stargell and Dave Parker, who played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mm-hmm. So the thing that, when I read this, right, the thing that got me shook was, like, that was really, I was always into manifesting and vision boards, but that was the beginning of having me understand there's more to it. And like, so I wrote this down one time in the 3rd grade, and I got to play professional baseball, and I do a majority of my business out of the Pittsburgh area. So it didn't manifest exactly like I wrote it, but like, these things were, I wrote it down and thought of it one time and wrote it down, right? And so that really got me to understand the power in writing down what we want. And yeah, man, that was like the beginning of a whole new journey. And
I love that.
Yeah.
And dreaming, man. I think we all forget that we're allowed to dream. Yeah. You know, as a young kid, I used to have these dreams of like, well, I refer to my son a lot, Kai, where he talks, when he was younger, he wanted to be a police dog. And I'm like, all right, he's definitely dreaming here, right? Wanting to be a police dog. And I knew he'd eventually grow out of that, but now he wanted to be a professional football player. It's like, as we get older and maybe something doesn't turn out the way that we want it to, or someone crushes that dream for us. Yeah. Like, we have this big idea or a dream of going and doing something in our life. And then, after 1 or 2 or 3 of those get crushed, then we start thinking smaller and smaller. Yep. And this happens, at least it happened for me, man.
Yep, 100%.
And before I knew it, I wanted to be just like the people around me. Mm-hmm. And it, nothing against anybody in my immediate family. I love them to death. I love them to death. I like to have my distance from them. But I remember by the time I was 22, 23 years old, all I wanted to do was be as good as my brother. Yeah. Right? And I, again, love them. But if I would have just settled for that and not something much, much bigger, God, man, life would be so much different today. Mm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I learned, from a divorce handful of years ago that we don't go towards what's good for us. Yeah. We go towards what's familiar. Right. So we keep, and obviously, like, I believe God will allow us to be tested until we pass it as well. But, that's why, going back to bad relationships, struggles with whatever someone struggles with, right? Pornography, sex, addiction, all of it. Drugs, alcohol. It's familiar. It's like, God, I know this isn't good for me, but we're wired to actually go towards what's good what's familiar. Yeah. When I realized that was like a huge breakthrough for me, because then it taught me, and that was like, I'm 53 now, but that was at like 49, right? Mm-hmm. So that it didn't happen at 29. No. So it's like, now I can share that with other people and hopefully help people that are struggling with whatever. It's like, hey, it's familiar. That's why you're going back to it. Yeah. Right. And so when you realize that, the first step in transformation is awareness. Yeah. Right. So you just got to become aware of that, and then you can, make the right move. So. Yeah. I mean, listen, I came out here to Scottsdale when I've only been out here for like 4.5, maybe 5 months. Shit. Yeah. I feel like I've been saying 4 months for a long time. It might be longer than 4 months since I've been out here, but dude, I came out here to do a podcast. I was around a group of guys. I was in Raleigh, North Carolina at the time. And me and my wife got real comfortable. We had built the company. We were doing well again, right? We were making multiple millions of dollars. We were just talking about that. Yeah, literally. Yeah. And it's like, I came out here. Well, you were just at Andy Elliott's event just this past weekend. Yeah. Dude, I came out here to see if that was real. Like, I'm like, all right, I get it. He's an in-shape guy. I was looking for somebody to look up to. Dude, I labeled myself the sales goat in the wholesale industry. It's a pretty bold statement to go into an industry and say, I'm the sales goat.
And then it's like, wait a second. Am I getting drunk off my own sauce? Am I leveling up anymore? So I freaking see this crazy dude, Andy Elliott, on social media, short ass shorts, right? The muscle, and I came out here and I saw his sales, dude. What got me was his sales acumen.
Yeah.
Like he has a sales acumen that I believe in as a dude. He's in a league of his own when it comes to how he can articulate words, close deals, and all that. But I came out here and I got uncomfortable. Me and my family moved our entire our life out here in a spur of like a split decision. So how did you feel about coming out? I know you've been out here for a couple days now.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, we were just talking about that. I think that there's always, like I always say that our biggest strength is usually our Achilles heel. If you're super kind and giving, you probably are to a fault.
Yeah.
Right? So anything, you can take anything. And I think that when you're winning, it's easy to get comfortable and complacent, and because you're winning. Like, dude, why would someone change what they're doing if I'm running plays and winning, right? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But when you get to higher levels, you realize that's when you have to change and you got to do something different when you feel comfortable, complacent, because your awareness, right? Like I was saying, you're in that zone that, okay, like, I'm just gonna, this is where I really need to do something different.
Yeah.
And mix it up. I mean, and the thing is, it's really hard. I mean, I packed up my car and moved to Miami, Florida, almost 4 years ago. Had everything that I could fit, Eric, in a 2-seater Mercedes SL 500 convertible.
Let's go.
I sold off all my supercar, my Aston, the Ferrari, Mercedes. Sold everything off, and I don't know why the hell I kept the 2-seater. I'm like, why didn't I keep the S at least, right? I could have fit more shit in it. But I was like, golly. So, but yeah, man, I knew that, I was finalizing divorce at the time, and I just knew that, like, if I know Ed Milet, and he talks about the one, the one. That one, who's gonna be that one, and doing the power of one more, right? All of that. And so I just said, man, I'm gonna be 50 this year. And if I'm gonna really live my best version of me, I gotta take a chance. I gotta jump off the cliff. So I packed everything up. 2 months later, I drove to Miami, Florida. Didn't have I didn't even have a place to stay. I was driving there. I was finding my place. Just literally like jumped off the cliff, and landed in Sunny Isles, and then ended up meeting my fiance, Kristen, my soulmate, like, I don't know, a year there. And I was like, no, peace, happiness, tranquility, no women, right? I'm in Miami, right? Like, no, not going out. I don't want to go out, but I'm not getting close to any women. I'm just going to take time for myself. And then, God was like, blink, here you go, And it was, so yeah, I mean, a lot of times you can look back and only connect the dots by when you're here and look back, oh, that's why that happened.
Yeah.
That's why I had to go through that to learn this lesson so this could happen in my life now, And but it's hard when you're going through. I mean, I thought, leaving pro ball to raise my son was like the toughest decision ever. And then I did that, and I was like, ooh, man, that was like, I wasn't expecting it to be that difficult.
Yeah.
But, sometimes you just, you have to burn the boat, man.
I couldn't agree more on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a burn the boat guy.
Me too.
Like all day, every day. So you've been in the real estate game for 20 years now.
20 years, yeah.
20 years. So the DJ that's sitting here, right? Your family didn't bring you up where you're wearing the nice watch and the nice clothes. I heard we were poor. I heard ADH, like all this stuff. Did you graduate high school? You at least graduate. All right. So you were a good student.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far.
Got it. So you've been in the real estate game for 20 years. And right before this, I'm like, so what's your claim to fame? And you go, I got rich off of cheap homes.
Yeah.
Where did you start though?
Yeah. So I sold the company in 2005. I had a chunk of money, and I knew nothing about real estate. Like, My mom never owned a home, always
Okay.
rented, never drove a car, worked 2 to 3 jobs, right? Just a grinder, Italian, like just a grinder.
Okay.
And so so that was what I saw, right? So, but I would see like I'm gonna age myself here, but I would see like the Carlton Sheets, Dean Graziosi, all those commercials, right? Growing up, and I was like, man, this looks really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Right. But then it's like, yeah, but I can't do that. You know, like the mind monsters, right? So like where am I? How would I ever be able to do something like that, right?
In real estate.
In real estate, yeah.
Got
When I was little and when I was young, I would see these.
Understood.
So I sold my company. I went to a Robert Kiyosaki and Robert Allen event.
Yeah.
And dude, from the event, they come away with the big thick books. You know what an event is.
Of course.
Back then, it was different. Now it's more immersive, but back then it was like teaching you, trying to upsell you all this stuff you don't need.
Yep.
So I come away with the big thick book, and my friend, she was like, you know, what do you want to do? Like, let's go through this book. I go, no, man, I'm going online. I'm going to buy some homes. Like,
You're going
what do you
where?
mean? I'm going to go online and buy some homes.
Got it.
Right? I'm going to go on eBay. She's like, what? Are you crazy? I'm like, I don't know, I guess, right? So, but I knew, Eric, like, kind of going back to, you got to know yourself.
Yeah.
And I knew everything in life that I did, I learned by doing it.
Yep.
I learned how to hit a baseball by hitting a baseball.
By doing it.
I learned how to build a company, and yeah, I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned how to do it by doing it.
Yep.
I learned how to sell by going out to a ton of sales appointments and door knocking.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I knew myself. I never learned, even in school, I never learned anything by reading books. I learned by doing
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just have to do it and I'll figure it out. So I basically I went online, I went on eBay. By the way, you guys never do this, right? This is like what not to do. So I went on eBay, I bought 10 homes for $50,000 total.
Got it.
$5,000 a home.
Okay.
I fly out there. The first home is torn down. I call the guy. I'm freaking out. His number's disconnected. And I was like, oh, here we go, right? I knew at that point. Like, here, this is. So, but it led me out there. It led me to, like, the Pittsburgh area region. And so I was like, okay, like, what am I going to do now? So I decided, like, you know, and this goes to, like, having the right mindset for entrepreneurs is playing baseball. I was used to failing, right? So like when I, a lot of people would look at that and go, dude, I'm selling these off and I'm never buying out of state again.
So you bought 10 homes,
for
5,000 apiece.
5,000 apiece, yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
In the Pittsburgh
You were
area.
living where?
Seattle.
You were living in Seattle. You got on eBay, and a guy had a package, or you bought them from?
Well,
Tim-
Tacoma, but yeah. Had a package. Yeah, bought them. And
All
then
right, boom, all 10 of them.
all 10 of them.
You then fly to Pittsburgh to
Fly
go
to Pittsburgh
look
to go
at your
look at
10
them.
homes.
I'm excited
Okay.
because they're all in great shape and all they need is paint and carpet, right?
Yeah.
And the first home I go to is there's no home.
There
I'm
ain't
like,
even one there.
There's not even one there. I talked to the neighbor. They said, oh, that was torn down like 2 months ago. So I'm freaking out. I called the guy and his number's disconnected that I bought him from, right? So I was like, oh, here we go. So that was, but it led me there. And I decided like, hey, I'm gonna sell all of these. And one of the homes was in a small town called Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Okay. So I drove out there, and as I pulled into town, there's a realtor sign. I was like, oh, cool. So I stopped there. I went in, and the guy said, yeah, my dad owns half the city, owns a bunch of property. We'll help you. We have guys to fix them. I'm like, cool. So he hooked me up with some guys because I knew I needed a team, right? At least I knew that. Okay. And living across the country. So imagine living across the country 20 years ago, no software, no, like, dude, there was nothing.
Right.
You know, like Thomas Guide.
Yeah.
And that didn't help me buying real estate.
Right.
You know what a Thomas Guide is.
Yeah.
So most people are, what's a Thomas Guide? But look it up, right? Google search it. But yeah, man, it was crazy. So I fixed this home. My first year I bought 25 rentals. And I was starting to figure it out. And
your first year,
I bought 25 rentals. Yep. Okay. And then I had a buddy in Seattle at the time, and he said, hey, hook me up with some of these cheap homes, right? And so I said, listen, he goes, what can you get me in for? I said, you know, probably $50K, like including the fix up, and it'll rent for like $500 or $600 back then, right? And so he goes, dude, walk me. I said, listen, I have to get you the deal and fix it and do all of that. I don't manage. I do now. I didn't then. And I said, I have to do that and do everything for you, and then I'll hand you to a manager. Otherwise, you're going to want to like kill me, right? If you just buy a home and I give you some contractor numbers, dude, it's going to be a real shit show.
Yeah.
So he goes, yeah, that's even better for me because I trust you. So I got him a deal, fixed it, handed it off to the manager. We got it rented, all of that. And then he started buying more. And then it was crazy, Eric. At the Kiyosaki event, the only one thing I remembered was he talked about assignments, which I had no idea what that was. And then and this was 20 years ago, and he did the 4 quadrants, right? The business owner, the investor, the employee, the self-employed. And he said, people in the E and the S quadrant, 90% of the population operate there, but only 10% of people create wealth there. Or maybe it was 95 and 5.
Got it.
But 5% of the population operate as a business owner and investor, but 95% of people that are wealthy created their money from that, right? The cash flow quadrant. And that really stuck with it. I said, man, I want to be an investor, right? That was like, so that's what got me into buying properties. And then this business was born out of it. So I helped him get a property, fix it and all of that, got it rented. And then word just spread, man. I started speaking at 30-person rooms in California at these small little events.
Yeah.
People were like, dude, I could buy a house for how much? What, 40 grand, 50 grand, 60 grand? Dude, I'll buy 10 of them, right? Like I did, right? But I was like, really? They're like, yeah, dude, it cost me that to buy one here, right? So then that really took off. And then over time, basically to shorten the story, over time, now I've sold over 4,000 properties. Part of those were in the foreclosures, and I was...
Okay.
So I've sold over 4,000 properties to investors, and now it's evolved to the point where we do everything, all vertically integrated. So we get our clients the properties, we fix them, we rent them, we manage them, we take care of them long term. Because what I learned was that if you're doing this model, you have to control all elements if you want the recurring business. Because I could get them a great deal, I could get it fixed great, and then I hand it to a manager that's horrible. Right? And basically, that ends up not working out well. They place a bad tenant. It's not a good experience. Well, now guess what happens? You cut that branch off of all that repeat business and all the referral business. And I didn't realize that when I was younger, right? So then, but ultimately, that's where it led, and that's what we do now. So we have a huge, let's say huge, it's a tight team, probably the size of yours, a little smaller, but we acquire the properties in these low-cost regions. We get them for them, fix them, rent them, and manage them. Just make sure that the whole experience is taken care of by us.
So you're a
turnkey.
Essentially a turnkey.
Turnkey
where
company.
Joe standing over there has some extra cash.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to get into real estate. Boom. DJ and Joe, he hands you the cash. You go find the deal. You find the deal. You rehab the deal. You place the tenant in the deal. But it's Joe, and you manage the deal, but it's Joe's house.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Am I hearing that
We
right?
make our money on the buy and the sell spread. So if we buy it for 20, sell it for 40, or sell it
Assignment?
for 50, no, we usually double close.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long have you been doing that model?
19 years.
19 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Learned a lot, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like the thing too, Eric, is I always tell people, if you have a big portfolio, yeah, you're going to need a management company, probably, right?
Yeah.
But when you're starting out, because nobody tells people this, right?
Yeah.
Like, you should really learn how to manage your own stuff. And the reason is a few things. One is you're going to know now if you do outsource and hire a management company when they're ripping you off.
Right.
When they're not doing what's right, if they place, like, you're going to learn how to, it's like anything, you got to learn how to do it before you delegate.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, I'm just a big believer in that. And, but yeah, man, now I've got a world-class team, and our niche is Western PA, Ohio kind of region, Cleveland, Pittsburgh region.
Okay.
And so, yeah, man, people come to us, go, I got 100 grand, 150. And we're like, yeah, well, we can help you build a portfolio of because everyone, when they hear about it, they want to do it, right? Everyone wants to, they can buy a house for 40, 50, 60K. They're like, dang, like they just jump off the cliff and do it. But then there's a learning curve like everything to, okay, you're buying it from this person, then I got to find contractors to renovate, and then I got to find a management. Everything's disconnected, and there's no, and so it takes way longer, right? And you're dealing with all these different personalities and all these different companies, where now it's like, dude, just work with us. We'll do everything, and we're massively experienced. So if we run into any snags, we know how to deal with them instantly.
Yeah.
You know,
how many of those deals are you doing a month?
We do
average.
Yeah, average anywhere from 6 to 10.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you source
consistently for yeah.
How do you source your deals?
How do we get them?
How do you get your deals?
So you have to, I mean, you know this, you have to have multiple strategies.
Of course.
Right? I mean, that's, so I've learned that too. So we do a couple of things, and maybe this will add value to the people listening, I think. So obviously there's the obvious things like hiring cold callers, right? Like you have that's a great strategy. I'm a big believer in that. Postcards and mailers is great. Going on Zillow, looking for like for sale by owner.
Okay,
Going on Zillow, this is a hack. Going on Zillow and looking for rent by owner and calling them and asking them if they'd be interested in selling if the price is right, because no one's really hitting them on that.
For rent by owner. Love that.
Yeah, that's a great, that was a good niche. And then we use Go High Level. So we have all of the people in Go High Level in our CRM. And so we can, you know, obviously stay in touch with them, text blast them. Also, I have those are the main ways that we get deals, but also I have a wholesale list of all the local wholesalers in that market, wherever we are.
They're sending you deals.
And in Go High Level and realtors. So we have, I don't know, maybe 40, 50 realtors and 40, 50 wholesalers. And my team, I say once a week, you're going to text all of them, the realtors and the wholesalers separately. Hey, Joe. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Eric. It's Julian over here at, Empire, looking to pick up a couple deals. You got anything? Right? And we call it TOMA, top of mind awareness. You've got to stay top of mind with them. And dude, and it's consistency too, right? Consistency, follow up, all of that is, I mean, it's all, people get in this business and they think it's easier than it is. That's the problem.
Right. It's a grind, man.
Dude, it's a grind. You got to have grit. You got to be resilient.
I agree.
And you got to be able to take some punches. Yeah. And like, just keep, and not, it's kind of like, the blessing that I had is I had to learn how to let a bat at bat be a bat at bat. And dude, that took me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games and thousands of at bats.
I love that.
And I still didn't learn until, kind of the end of when I left the game. Yeah.
I've been explaining the whole, the wholesale model, because I've only been in the industry, 3.5 years. But when I came in, I saw the competition. And I was like, oh, shit, dude, this is going to be real easy. And that's how I felt. I swear to God, not being cocky. And because I had just come off of a awesome run. Building a pretty decent-sized company. And when I came into here, I'm like, oh, boy. I went to a couple events, couple masterminds. Again, nothing against any of them, but I'm like, this is going to be easy to go in here and get some results.
In my opinion, you know why? So these people that are in the game don't understand high-level sales. Right? And so I was saying remember Clubhouse was popping? Yeah. I remember being on big Clubhouse rooms, right? And I remember saying one time, hey, man, because everyone's like, if you go get a deal and it's a good deal, someone will buy it. Yep. Right? And I'm like, no, dude, let me tell you. It's when you can build, so first you got to build a cash buyers list. Yeah. Right? I mean, you can go get deals and everything. And with software now, right? It makes it easy. But if you can go, if you guys can understand one thing, if you can have I know that no one's telling you this, but I swear to God, I promise you it's true. If you can have a 1 to 2 hour talk with somebody and really spend time with them and show them that you care and do a great discovery and create a heart connection and understand the why. Like really understand the why.
Yeah. I agree with everything you're saying.
And if you can understand that, and you can spend an hour to 2 hours with them, I know no one's telling this to you guys.
Nope.
I promise you, your odds of winning are so much higher than everybody else.
Yeah.
And I've been telling my team that for years. And you come along because you understand high level sales, and you're the first person that I've seen that actually is doing that, right?
Yeah.
Long script, like, people, you don't need this long script. Dude, you can order take.
Yep.
But if you're going to really get great deals and close at a high clip, dude,
I agree.
It take you, so
Hey,
I'm glad that we're totally on the same page with that.
And what he was saying is order taking, meaning like deals are being done every single day with those 10 to 15 minute conversations. But I can tell you, you're burning through your marketing dollars. It's going to take you a lot longer to get a solid deal actually to the closing table.
Yep.
Man, there was a point I wanted to make. Damn it.
The connection.
It's a connection, but it was
the why?
Understanding the why. I don't even know if it had anything to do with the actual sales process. We went into that. But at the end of the day, so getting back to like that's what it was. This guy's been doing deals for 19, you've been doing deals, DJ, for 19 years in PA and Ohio?
Yeah.
In pretty much the same market.
Yeah.
19 years he's been doing deals in in two markets. What I think a lot of people do is you don't have to jump market to market to market to market. This guy literally for 19 years. And he said he's doing anywhere from 6 to 10 deals a month.
Yeah, and Eric, I'm glad you mentioned that. We have all the people that we've ever bought deals from on a tagged in Go High Level with a certain tag, right? We send them a message once a month. And dude, we pick up, if you're gonna do anything, you gotta stay in the game long enough to let the numbers and start working out and to let the relationships, right? Because not everyone is gonna sell you their house today.
Yeah.
It's all timing.
Yeah.
Right? And
time and circumstances.
Exactly.
Time and circumstances.
Yeah, 100%. So if you're not like, when you have a business, right?
Yeah.
Who's your best client? Your current client.
Your current, yeah.
Right? But if you don't ever stay in the game long enough to build up a pipeline of current clients, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, right? Because a lot of these sellers, they might be an investor. You run into a lot the tired landlords, right? They own a lot of properties. So if you can understand building that relationship, buying one. We got a guy right now. Literally, I sent a contract today. I'm not even exaggerating. And that guy we bought in 7 homes from in the last year, right? And we don't make $5,000, $10,000, right? And that's another thing I want to share with. I think you got to catch any deal where you can, but like if you can understand not discounting your service and adding more value instead of always trying. Well, hey, I'm okay making $10,000, dude. You got it for $10,000. It's worth $100 fixed up. Why would you not sell it for like? That's the mentality. A lot of people look at what they got it for. And because they've never made a lot of money,
right?
They're okay going, oh, well, dude, if I can just make $10,000, I'm good, right? It's like, no, wait a sec. It's worth. You gotta understand what it's worth, and then reverse engineer. What's the rehab? What's this? And then it's like, dang, man, if we sell this for 50, we can make 40, and it's still a great deal for the investor. So if you can understand creating win-wins, but like not shortcutting your value that you provide to the marketplace.
Every time we had a standard in our office was it last year or the year before? Like our average deal size, we at one point were in 8 states. And our average deal size.
That's crazy, man.
I know it is. 100% virtual. Dude, in 36 months, I did almost 450 transactions and I didn't walk out. Like I went out to like 3 homes. In 36 months, almost 450, just shy of $9 million. But our average assignment fee was over $22,000. Like in the state of North Carolina, it was over $27,000.
Yeah. But
we had a standard in our office. It was like, we did do some smaller deals. We did a lot bigger deals. But our average, we wanted our average to be, like we were shooting for 25. And that all came down to like 1, having a standard, and then 2, sales acumen, building the relationship, building the trust, getting them to like you. I talk to so many people in the space, and again, they've never done deals before, so they think maybe making $5,000 on a deal is good. It's like we're talking to the same people. If you, like you can make $20,000 on these deals if you're sticking with the homeowner. You're not just getting on there in 10 and 15 minutes making an offer.
Yep.
You're going back to everything that you said. They say the fallout rate in this industry is about 95%. Like people that start trying to wholesale or do deals, they give up. And I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I bet you it's a super high
Probably is.
fallout rate. I remember what I was wanting to say. I used to say for the longest time, this is a super easy model. It's super easy. And then my buddy Tony, which you just ate breakfast with Tony the other day.
That's my dog, man.
He goes, Eric, you need to start saying this is simple. It's a simple model. It's not easy because most people don't want to do the work anyways.
Yeah.
But this is so simple.
Yeah.
This model, if you really think about it, and this is for everybody that's out there that may be stuck in a 9-to-5 job, doing something you're not happy doing this is hold on, Mike. This is super, super simple. And what I mean by that is if you have enough conversations, and he just mentioned for sale by owners, he mentioned for rent by owners. Those leads are everywhere.
Everywhere.
You can get those.
We pick up deals every single week, at least one, straight from Zillow.
Got it. So if you're
It's follow up.
It's follow up and making the initial call in the first place. Like you got to if you pick up a buddy of mine, I'm sure you know him, Jerry Norton.
Yeah.
Jerry Norton. He said he's been doing this challenge for years. It's the 100 offer challenge.
Yeah, I've seen it.
In 30 days. If you do 100 offers in 30 days, you're gonna get a deal.
Yeah, and you're gonna sharpen your axe.
You're gonna sharpen your axe.
You're gonna get better and better. That's the thing, man. People think like, how do you master something? 10,000 reps. That's how you master. Dude, there is no shortcut.
Yeah.
Right?
There is none.
You have to put in the reps.
Yeah.
And I think so many people think they're gonna get to they're gonna come in and do it for a month. But a lot of it too, Eric, people ask me like, what separates the NFL guys, the major leaguers, from everyone else? What separates the guys that make it,
the elite,
or the women that make it, to the ones that don't? And I tell them, dude, it's one thing. I promise you, it's this one thing. The guys that believe that they're better than they actually are, and they tap this high level of potential inside themselves, and they have this swagger and confidence, and you're like, dude, that guy is like freaking can't even hit the ball in the infield. His arm's shitty, can't run. Dude, and then they play in the big leagues for 10 years, and they're hitting home runs, and you're like, what the heck, man? Good for them, you know what I mean? But it's like, that's when I realized, like, oh, that's it. It's the guys that believe they're better than they are, and then the ones that have the talent, and they believe they're better than they are. Those are the Aaron Judges, right? The Ohtani, right? These are the Barry Bondses, right? These are the elite of the elite, and the All-Stars and the Hall of Famers. And so but it all comes down to, a friend of mine, Frank Thomas. Have you heard of Frank Thomas?
Yep.
One of the best home run hitters ever.
Yep.
I just texted with him on the holidays. So Frank told me something. I sat next to him on a flight one time, and he said something. Dude, it blew my mind. I've never heard anyone say this, Eric. I said, what made you so great, man? Dude, I got to ask you, right? What made you such a great hitter? He goes, DJ, he said, every time someone got me out, like I struck out or I got out, I always made it my fault. He goes, I never in my mind let the pitcher like, oh, dude, they got me. No, dude, I got myself. Like I missed that pitch, or I took a pitch that I should have squared up and hit out of the park. That was my fault. So he said, I always made it my fault. And so that way, and what I realized was, dude, that is like crazy powerful, right? Accountability. And I can fix it now because it's my fault. They're not better than me.
Yeah.
I beat myself.
I should have been ready for that.
If people can realize that you gotta, I heard Tim Grover say, or Darren Hardy from Success Magazine. He said one time, he said, if I was gonna die and could tell you guys one thing, and that's it, I would tell you, you have to take accountability for 100% for everything that happens in your life.
Yeah.
And so many times people want to blame, the leads or I called all these people and they didn't answer. And you're laughing because I know you deal with it, right?
God.
But yeah, it's like they want to blame everybody else instead of going, well, hey man, I didn't make as many calls. I didn't have the right energy.
Yeah.
When I showed up today to show up for the calls, because but if these young hustlers can understand in this game, man, if you guys can stay humble and understand, I got to take accountability. Like I'm where I'm at because of my decisions, one. And two, I've got to take accountability for everything that happens in my life. I think if you can do that, man, you can make it.
Yeah, your feet are where they are because you've put them there.
Yeah.
I still, man, that's powerful. Frank Thomas said that.
Yeah.
I love that. I still today, and not a lot of people they'll get off a phone call and they'll be like, they weren't ready. That freaking
And you
lead.
get on and close them.
No, but I'm just here recently because I'm now training a new team.
Yeah.
I have a young team out in my office right now, and I'm training them every day. I'm out on the floor with them, and just here recently because I'm back on the phones a lot right now. I got off a call, hour and 15 minutes, and I'm like, man, what could I have done different? It wasn't, he wasn't ready. He wasn't this. It was, why didn't I get that person to say yes? What could I have done different? And that's why having a coach is so important. I go and speak to my coach, and I'm like, hey, man, I've been having these problems. And because Andy Elliott, right? And he goes, hey, man, I'm going to give you 3 things you can do. When you're on the phone with somebody, and he goes, if you're having a hard time getting somebody to say yes, if you believe in your product and service and you've sold enough people and you've helped enough people, you should have testimonials. And he goes, while you're on the phone with somebody, you literally can send them a testimonial while you're on the phone with them. Just let them hear it from a third party. So he gave me a couple other strategies to use, which are all good, right? It's one thing if I sit here and tell you, but if I slide somebody else in a third party story,
it's huge.
And it's validation, and you should have testimonials of people that were skeptical.
Yep.
You should have testimonials of people that said, I need to think, right? All these things we hear.
Yep.
So I come back to my office, and the same scenario happens, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Did you just get a ding in your text message? Yeah, I did. What is that? And I go, just open that up real quick. Put me on speakerphone. Open up, click that picture, and I want you to listen to that video I sent you right there. And I just stayed quiet. They listen, and I go, do you have time for one more? Boom, send them another one. Said, listen to that one. And I just stayed quiet. Afterwards, they're like, we're ready to move forward. I didn't have to do any more talking.
Third party credibility is huge.
But dude, and it's being coachable. I could have sit there and said, the leads suck. These people ain't ready to move forward. Blame it. But it's Frank Thomas. Why were you so good? I always made it about me. It was never, I had to point the finger at me.
Yep.
A lot of people have a hard time doing that, man. Where they jump into this model. This you could have been like the 95%. Just so everyone understands, this guy has been in the industry for 20 years, right? He didn't look the way he did with the nice clothes, fancy watches 20 years ago. I guarantee that. But he's been kicked in the face. He's been kicked in the teeth. He's had doors slammed on him. He's been told no way more times than he's ever been said yes to. What separated him from a lot of the people out there is he just hasn't given up.
Yeah, you got to keep. lawsuits.
Everything,
dude. If you've done 4,000 deals, you're gonna have been sued. You're gonna have been through stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna you're gonna have clients, people on your team.
Yeah.
Right. I had a lady one time steal my whole database and tried smearing me. And
Yep.
at the end of the day, I just kept going.
love
And you stay classy. And I tell people, dude, there's only two ways to build the biggest building. You build the biggest freaking building, and you focus on you and what you got to do, or you tear all the other buildings down around so yours looks the biggest.
Yeah.
And when you can spot those people and go, oh, no, you know what? I'm not going to jump into that and do the same thing to them. I'm going to stay classy, take the high road, and just keep building the freaking biggest building. Yeah. And what you'll realize if you do that, when you have that occur, is you'll look back 2-3 years and go, dude, my building's so much bigger.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
but that's it's tough, man. You want to, an eye for an eye, right? You want to fight back, and sometimes, man, you just gotta. But that comes where, like you said, having a coach, having a coach and a mentor is truly the life hack. It just is. Like,
I'll never not have one.
Yeah, it's the only way that you can know what you don't know, like that.
Yep, I agree. I agree. That's awesome. So let me ask you this, and we'll wrap it up on this. You have one. It's awesome sitting and chatting with you, dude.
Yeah, you too, man.
This has been cool. I'm glad you're here in Scottsdale. When do you leave?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Because I got a lot of younger cats that listen, and I got a lot of people that think about getting into real estate, but never actually do it. What would you tell your younger self 20 years ago?
Man, a lot of things. I would tell, first of all, for sure, get a mentor.
Yeah.
Right? You have to get a mentor. Whether it was you or me, like, you gotta seek out somebody that's done what you want to do, and like model, mimic, master. Like, if you just do that, that's truly the life hack. I mean, it just
it's
is.
such a hack they just don't get.
But it's kind of like, especially when you're young. Also, number two, I would say, if someone hasn't got the results that you're looking for, don't listen to them. Friends, family, parents, I don't care if it's your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, you cannot take their advice.
I agree.
Because a lot of times there's a lot of families have dysfunction, right? In different forms. Yeah. And I think that they don't, like my mom. My mom was awesome, most loving person, and she didn't mean to hurt me, but it was like, we can't afford that. Yeah. Right?
I couldn't agree
stuff
more.
like that. And you hear these things and you're like, oh man, and so your family is there to, they think that they're protecting you, right? But what they're really doing is hurting you by telling you, oh, don't go. No, I wouldn't spend, man, $5,000, $10,000, 100, whatever, right? Yeah. Like, man, are you out of your mind? What are you thinking?
Right.
And I would never do that. Just go on YouTube and learn it. What they don't realize is that, like with my people that I've coached, right, my community is like, dude, if you get stuck on a deal and you call me, you met Amanda Ray and her husband from Roots stuff. Yeah, I helped them close a mobile home park on seller financing, right? And the person literally, they were going to get financing. Long story short, they were going to buy this. She calls me, she's crying, and she's like, I don't know what to do. I said, it's cool, chill. I'm going to help you. Let's talk to her about seller. No, she said she wouldn't seller finance it. Well, you pitched it wrong. You didn't pitch it the way I would pitch it. So let me tell you what to say. Go back to her and say this. Dude, 2 days later, she calls me and is like freaking out, excited, because the lady said, she goes, I can't believe it. The lady's going to go for it, right? So like that's just one of many stories, but that's like why it's so vital to have a mentor that's done what you're doing, because you can, they can guide you, not jump in and do it for you, right? But teach you how to fish, so you can go out and catch as many fish as you want. Agree. And I just think that's the that's the ultimate hack. Yeah, my opinion.
Love that, man.
I wish someone had told me that when I was younger.
I do too.
I learned everything by the school of hard knocks, trial and error. and it took me so much longer.
Yep.
And like now, Eric, I can use a lot of those things. You know, people are like, oh my God, how do you know how to fix that problem? I'm like, dude, like, because I've had
a lot of problems.
I had problems, and I had to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah.
On my own. Yep. And so you either figure it out, or you don't. You either figure it out and win, or you don't figure it out and you lose. And I don't like losing.
Nope.
So I figure the shit out. You know. Yeah. That's it.
Love that, brother. Dude, you're an absolute rock star, bro.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate you taking your time coming over here to our office.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Sharing your knowledge and wisdom with the community. And I look forward to getting to know you more, man, and eventually getting rich buying cheap homes with you.
Hey, man, I love it. Let's go. Let's do it.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Hey, until next time, y'all. Hey, go buy some cheap homes, y'all. And then you get rich like DJ.
Hey, what's going on? I want to congratulate you for making it to the end. What does that mean? You're in the 1% club. No one else stuck around. You did. What I want you to do is subscribe. More importantly, comment below. That way I know exactly who you are and we can get to know one another. Every single week, by you turning your notifications on, you're not going to miss the sales training that's going to keep you in this 1% club. Comment below, subscribe. I'm going to see you in the next video. Let's continue to refuse to lose.